Well, out of there, folks. This is your host, idjester. Thank you so much for joining me again today for a brand new episode of On the Horizon. It's a new video series I'm creating, basically going to talk about new and upcoming games, kind of introduce them to you, talk a little bit about them, give you my thoughts and comments about them, and also maybe some gameplay footage, maybe even introduce you a game you haven't heard of and maybe something you might be interested in. First thing we're going to talk about today is a brand new, coming out to be soon, Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. As you can see, you can pre-order it. It's coming out February 25th, 2014. So this sucker is right on the horizon. It is about ready to come out here in the next week or two. If you never played the original Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, or Castlevania Mirrors of Fate, it's basically a good versus evil game in which you take on the good character and you're kind of trying to fight off the forces of evil. You're going to be fighting all kinds of demons and devils and all kinds of vile creatures. You're going to be using special weapons that you're going to find, holy blades and things of that nature, and you're going to use these weapons with all kinds of super cool fast action combat moves that you're going to use to try and destroy the enemy creatures. It's got a really cool art style to it, a lot of the good and evil, gothic, religious places, and definitely has that whole motif of kind of old school good versus evil take on the world type thing. And as you can see here, this is the third of the trilogy and presumably the last one of the trilogy here, and you can see that our main characters definitely has some demons growing inside him. So definitely, if you never played Castlevania the original, you can pick that up on Steam. You can also pick up Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. It's now currently 10% off. I think you can pick it up for $52.95, somewhere around there. It's normally $59.95, but 10% off if you pre-order it before February 25th. So this one is definitely on the horizon, about ready to come out here. Next thing I want to introduce to you and talk to you about is your favorite and my favorite things of all times, MMOs. And yes, I am being sarcastic because, seriously, who really plays MMOs anymore? Not very many people. And even if you do play them, you don't usually stay with them very long. Or I don't, at least. It seems like you play them for a while, you get kind of bored and move on to something else. And I want to introduce you to a MMO that there's a lot of hype about and a lot of good feelings that this might be something that is going to be very interesting to a lot of people out there. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Wildstar. Wildstar. It has kind of this whole sci-fi cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians type motif, I guess, about it. It's got this really interesting kind of cartoonic graphics that are really kind of interesting. The whole art style that they're going for on this. The other thing is they're not taking themselves, I think, too seriously here. I think they are kind of trying to bring some new elements into the MMO genre of actually trying to make them fun to play and interesting and not make them grinding and boring and such. In that state, I'm just going to kind of introduce to you what I'm talking about by actually playing out one of the videos that you can download from their website. And this kind of gives you the whole kind of their philosophy behind Wildstar, and you can kind of see the art style they're going for and the humor and just the kind of good nature fun that they're trying to bring back into the whole MMO genre. So this has been definitely something that a lot of people have been talking about, and I think it could be quite interesting once it's finally released.
am the Caretaker, a powerful virtual construct created by the Elden to monitor all scientific experiments on the planet Nexus. Excuse my erratic behavior, but it seems that I have developed certain instabilities since the Elden abandoned me here long ago. I am responsible for analyzing the physical and mental weaknesses of sentient organisms, such as yourselves. It is important that I clearly understand the potential of my subjects in order to best determine how to annihilate them! Oh my. Are you ready? Then please, step forward into this virtual adventure in order to begin. Don't be alarmed. The experience will be excruciatingly painful! During your adventure, your group will be subjected to a variety of climates, environments, and situations, all chosen specifically to end your pathetic existence! Success will require more than skill in combat. During your experience, you and your companions will be expected to make critical decisions that require both intelligence and intuition. Choose well and be rewarded. Choose poorly and be destroyed! Every choice leads to a new eventuality, and every eventuality a new choice. And remember, this virtual world is my twisted domain! I make the rules and I determine the severity of your punishment! And the best part? You can experience them over and 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 over again. Thank you for participating in this experiment. I have learned a great deal, and I am certain that we will meet again very soon.
Alright folks, that is Wildstar, upcoming MMO. This is in closed beta right now, so probably a couple more months and they'll go into open beta. I'm just guessing because I haven't seen anything official as of yet. Once they go into open beta, then depending on how that goes, might be released here before you know it. Probably, I would say, later this year, hopefully, for those of you who are wanting to get your hands on some Wildstar action. Speaking of later this year or way off in the horizon, I'm going to introduce you a game that was introduced just about a month ago. Does everybody remember the old Left 4 Dead and the 4 characters? You run around, you're helping one another, you're basically trying to survive as the zombie hordes are trying to hunt you down and kill you, and it's a very tense, very interesting, where you're on the seat of your pants. Are you going to make it? Are you not going to make it? Etc., etc. And you're just wanting to play it over when you die, and some really good moments in playing Left 4 Dead. Well, the creators of Left 4 Dead have actually are making this new game. It is called Evolve, and as you can see, we have our 4 different characters there. Each of the characters has their own special powers, they have their own special abilities, they use their own kind of weapons, just like Left 4 Dead. What's so interesting about Evolve? What is it bringing to the first-person shooter that no other games are out there? Because it's kind of been stale and kind of the same old thing. Well, this is actually bringing some really cool things. The basic premise is these 4 characters are sent to this alien world to hunt down this mammoth beast that's running away from them and trying to hide. And you can see this guy's like a tracker, and he's trying to find out where the beast is, and you're trying to hunt him down and kill him before he evolves. And the really interesting aspect of this game is one human player can actually play the creature. And in the beginning of the game, the creature has very weak skin, it doesn't have any defenses, it doesn't have any special powers. But as the game progresses, the human player that's running the beast is able to run around and eat the indigenous life forms that are on this planet. And some of them are humongous. Think of like morphed Tyrannosaurus Rexes and stuff like that. he hunts them down, he eats them up, and when he does, he then evolves into the next level. I think there's 3 or 4 levels that you can evolve into. And every time you go up a level, your skin gets tougher, you start gaining claws, you start gaining teeth, you start gaining spikes and special powers that you can then use. And once you start evolving throughout the game, at a certain point, the hunter then becomes the hunted, where all of a sudden the 4 characters that we see here start the game off as much more powerful. They have these awesome weapons. They have really cool skills and powers that they can use. As the match progresses, though, the creature, if he's able to hide and keep away from danger long enough, can evolve into something that becomes much more dangerous, and all of a sudden these characters are then thrust into a situation where the enemy is much tougher than they are, and instead of them hunting it then hunts them. So definitely some really cool mechanics that I think they're trying to bring to the first-person shooter genre. The whole balancing of you got 4 people that are really powerful in the beginning and 1 really weak monster, and then towards the end of the match you're going to have a really strong monster and really weak characters, and it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Again, this was just introduced I think about a month ago, and so this is probably way off in the horizon before we'll actually see this, but as you can see, it does look good. It sounds really interesting. And we're definitely going to keep 2 eyes on this one, because I think when it is finally released, it could definitely be something that you would want to sink some hours into and try out and see if you can hunt down this beast before he becomes too powerful, or become the beast itself and see if you can lay in wait long enough where you become more powerful than them and you can hunt them down instead. So definitely some really cool systems that they're bringing to the first-person shooter. So that's really what I wanted to introduce to you today. Some Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 coming out here February 25th, so just a couple weeks from now, and it's a third-person action RPG gothic hunt down vampires. If you're loving that stuff, definitely give Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 a look at. If you're a MMO guy and you love that stuff, definitely check out Wildstar. And even if you're not, you might want to look into it to find out, because it's bringing some really cool and interesting things. And of course, much further down the whole line here, we'll be getting Evolve, a first-person shooter where you're going to be facing many different kinds of creatures that you're trying to hunt down and kill before they become powerful enough to destroy you. So that's what we have for you today on the Horizon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all my new subscribers out there. Definitely out there, if you're listening and watching this video, let me know what you think about these games. If you're interested in playing any of them, if you've seen anything or have any comments about them, leave them below, because I do read all my comments. I try to reply back to them all, and that's one of the good things about being a small channel and not having thousands and millions of subscribers, is that I can listen to what you have to say. And if there's any games out there you might want to have me introduce to people or talk about or look at, definitely leave your comments below. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the Horizon, folks.